Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's been a minute since I was here. I'm out here. You can hear the sound of birds and maybe neighbors' children will be making noise, but I hope we'll be able to communicate. I'm just gonna be making a short video today to show you guys some interesting speakers from Xdobo. Xdobo is a company that I've covered before. They make Bluetooth speakers, and it seems like of late they've really been doing some interesting stuff. Now, this box that you see behind me actually came before Christmas. That's like 5 months ago. I've just not been able to make this video until today. This was like a free gift package from Xdobo. They wanted me to show you guys some of the speakers they'd come up with so you could buy your friends and relatives and whoever as a Christmas gift. But it's May now. Maybe you can still get them for whatever reason. So let's just get right into it from the first one. Now, these are some interesting speakers, and these speakers don't look conventional. They are strange speakers, as it were. This particular one is the one that I've actually been using. They call it the BMTL Clock. BMTL stands for Bring Music to Life, and that's like a mantra we can say that Xdobo has been using. I just dropped it a few minutes ago, and you can see there's an LED light down here that has actually sort of gotten disoriented. Don't mind my hands, I've just been painting. Someone is looking at me. This is actually a speaker that is shaped like a clock. So if you turn it on, it says hi, Bluetooth mode. There's an M button here which will change between the mode. There's a clock mode, as you can hear. It's much easier to see indoors, but 1639 is the time you can see. And it has some other modes. That's actually an FM radio, if you still listen to radios. Mode. And clock mode, yeah. Right here has some sort of shelf which you can use to, place your phone or something. And it actually displays a clock, sits on your desk, like so. The specs are in the box. I'm not going to go through specs, but this is the one that I've been using because, yeah, it looks nice and it sounds quite good. It's the sort of speaker that can work in a tiny room, like an office, for your desk setup, and it looks nice. Down here, it has some sort of light that you can use. If you press this button, I don't know whether that is visible. Off, on, yeah. So that is the BMTL clock. It's not a room-filling audiophile grade sound. No, this is just, casual listening, sort of desk setup, deco item, Bluetooth speaker thing. Something you could consider if you like this sort of flair. So let's look at the next one. Now, these other speakers are kind of tiny, so I've not really been using them. These are just, some things that would work as interesting gifts for your friends and relatives. Maybe something you could carry along if you are really into music and you are going out somewhere, a picnic, a trip of some sort. You'd want to carry a tiny speaker with you. This is called what is it called? Piano. Look at the box. Piano. So BMTL piano. We also get here micro SD card and the Type-C port, just like the clock, BMTL clock. This actually is meant to look like a tiny piano. These buttons are actually a forward, back, volume up, volume down, and power button. So if you press on this, you can see that it's going into pairing mode. And the speaker is actually right here. The rest of it is basically just bring music to life. Interesting. So that's what Xdobo has for you over here with the BMTL piano. This is not the kind of speaker you'll be listening to in your living room, not unless you live in a tiny bed sitter. But it's some interesting thing you can carry along, give someone, for out there if you just want to carry a speaker. There's not much use case for a lot of these speakers apart from being sort of like interesting objects, conversation starters, prop items for, your background, your setup, and so on. There's this one. Look at this. This is called the BMTL Mushroom. Written mushroom, 5 volts, 1 amp input, assembled in China, bring music to life. So this is shaped like some sort of mushroom. The others are black, but this one is a bit brownish and so on. Don't know whether mushrooms in China look like this. but this is what we have here. Down here is actually the power on. Yep, I guess you heard that. So yeah, maybe like a lady or someone could place this in her purse. Now this one doesn't have a Type-C port. This is actually a micro USB port. You can throw this in your purse and place it on your desk in your office or whatever and listen to some music, you know, if you're not into like listening to headphones the whole day. This part lights up, so it's a bit of like a light. Yeah, let's take a look at the last one. Now this is a bit substantial of a speaker. This is one of those that I could actually recommend or listen to. It's a bit bigger than the rest. You know, when it comes to music, size matters. A big speaker will most likely sound or produce much more volume than a tiny little speaker. And especially if you are talking about bass, size matters more often than not. So here we have the BMTL Grammy. Why? Because it kind of looks like those record players. And by the way, if you are used to the studio that I was in, things have changed. Now we will, you know, bring you up to speed with time. So this is the BMTL Grammy. And by the way, these speakers have some taglines of sorts that are interesting. Here we have it written, "Do you remember the time?" Maybe because this brings a bit of nostalgia if you used those old record players that you'd place that big disc Santuri thing. We have such like thing here, and this rotates. I think Xdobo missed an opportunity to make this like you know, volume wheel or something. This is just rotating here for no particular reason. Up here, this should be the
power on.
Yeah.
Bluetooth mode.
Power on, Bluetooth mode button. On the sides here, we have your forward, back, and what is this again? Looks like a light. I didn't know this speaker has a light. Where is the light? I don't know whether it's this tiny thing, not sure, but yeah. We also have a slot for micro SD card right here and a USB-C charging port. So these speakers are Bluetooth speakers, so they have batteries inside that you charge using the ports provided. So if you take a look at the four speakers, the Clock is the biggest one. Next we have the Grammy, then the piano, and finally the smallest one is the Mushroom. I'm not gonna be playing for you guys clips, audio clips for, you know, sound quality and so on. You can judge what this tiny thing sounds like just by looking at it. I don't mean that they don't sound good. They actually sound quite okay. It's only that they are tiny speakers. They're not for, you know, huge parties, for, you know, your living room setup and so on. These are on-the-go speakers, I can say. They're more or less decorative items for desk setups, you know, a shelf here and there. Or if you're gonna be traveling, you could carry along this in your backpack, you know, that sort of application. And with that, let me sign off. Let me say Happy New Year, though it's May. See you guys a little bit more on the channel. I'm gonna be giving you a bit more content. And as always, no pressure.